Today on Outside the Box Reviews, we are taking a look at the NECA Evil Dead 2 Hero Ash figure. These figures came out a while ago, last summer to be precise, and I totally slacked on getting the review shot. I meant to do it as soon as I got them. I was really busy at the time. Yeah, I'm making excuses. Ever since then, I've thought long and hard several times about going and shooting these reviews. And then I realized that why not just wait a little bit until the remake of Evil Dead was about to hit theaters and just do my own nice little tie-in with the classic movies of the franchise. So does this figure have what it takes to slay the Deadites? Let's take a closer look and find out. Hero Ash comes with his sawed-off shotgun. Really well detailed. Nice wood pattern on the butt of the gun here. Some good paint shading on the rest of it. See the double barrels up there, well sculpted. Overall, it's a really nicely done gun. It's very similar to the one that came with the Farewell to Arms Ash, but it is cut down as it should be from the movie, so that's definitely a good little attention to detail on NECA's part. Overall, a very solid accessory, and I definitely do dig it. But that accessory can't hold a candle to this accessory, my favorite accessory from this set, and quite possibly one of my favorite accessories of all time. The laughing deer head. However, this is a little out of place. This really probably should go with the Farewell to Arms Ash, movie-wise at least. It's kind of more in that section of the movie. But we got a lot of cool stuff with that Ash as well. So I'd rather just get it here a little out of place than not get it at all, because this is phenomenal. He has the plaque here in the back, some well-sculpted detail, the fur on him. That demented Deadite look that I absolutely love. Great detail on the inside of the mouth and the teeth, the blank white eyes, the antlers coming off the top. It actually is articulated at the neck. It's a little stiff, but you do have a ball joint in there and you could have it go in different ways. My only complaint about this is I wish there was some way here on the back that you could affix it to a wall or something. Right now, your only real option would be to either glue or sticky tack or something it up to a wall. I wish there was a little indentation where you could put a push pin or something like that. That would have been really freaking awesome if we could make it to just a thumbtack or something, hang them on the wall, have it iconic, classic Evil Dead. Eventually, I'm going to figure out something to do with this and allow it to mount and have him on permanent display. But either way, he is just freaking awesome, and I love this accessory. As for Ash himself, NECA cheaped out a little on this one. I kind of dislike it. We got the same exact head that we got on Farewell to Arms Ash. Basically, in this line of figures, we get 3 different versions of Ash, but only 2 head sculpts. And I would have really rather had a more confident looking head sculpt than this one. This is just kind of like, oh my god, I'm so scared, and it worked well for Farewell to Arms to some extent. This one, I really wish it would have been more of a smirking, like, I am Ash, I'm gonna kick your butt. I don't know, just a classic Bruce Campbell look, and this definitely doesn't have it. There's some good blood detail on it, some nice shiny glossy blood. I really dislike the black, heavy outline they gave around his eyes. It's not really well done. It looks like he has mascara on. Some good cuts and blood effects on him, though. Good skin texture. Some good dirt, wear and tear kind of looking stuff on him. Overall, well done, but not my favorite facial expression they could have given him. However, we do have an option to fix this. If you have NECA's Army of Darkness Ash, you can actually pop that head off and swap it over to this figure. The skin tones are similar enough that it actually doesn't look too bad together. It works to some degree, and I actually really prefer this look. This is a little more like I was talking about. My only gripe is, of course, this Army of Darkness head I already talked about. He's kind of looking off to the side perpetually, so that's a bit of a bummer, especially because he's looking over to his right, and I would much rather have him looking over to the left where his gun's gonna be. That kind of limits your poses to some degree, but still not a bad option to switch things around if you really want to. As for the rest of Ash, NECA gave us some good detail on here. We have his soft rubber clothing, his shirt all torn up. He has the straps around him that he uses to hold on the holster. He actually even has the little doofatchet over here that lets him pull the ripcord on his chainsaw, get that started up, ready to go. Some good sculpting on his chest. A lot of chest hair actually sculpted in there. Some great detail in there. I really do like it. This is one of my favorite looks for Ash with the torn shirt, the kind of heroic pose like he had in the Army of Darkness poster. Sleeves are hard sculpted, once again well done, a rip in there. His arm's totally bare, but a lot of good paint shading detail, making it look dirty and nasty and grimy. The chainsaw's really well done. You have the clamp down here where it attaches. It looks really worn and old and used. Good looking blade. I wish I would have done some blood splatter effects on here, but maybe that's asking a little too much. The handle, the little vents over here, just really well done. I definitely like the chainsaw detail they put on here, and it doesn't feel overly heavy like I was afraid it would. I thought maybe it would kind of weigh the arm down and mess with the articulation over time. No, it's pretty solid. It's not bad at all. On his back here, he has his holster for his gun, which you could definitely just stick right in there. Holds it really well. It's a soft rubber, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be too fragile like the McFarlane one was, which is always a plus. One downside with this shirt is that it kind of pulls up a little bit in the back, so you kind of see a little bit more skin than I think you'd want to. I feel like the shirt should come down a little further and not expose as much skin, but hey, it works, and how often are you going to be looking at the back of the figure? But speaking of the back of the figure, there's some great detail here. The detail on his jeans, you can see the back pockets in there. The paint wash is really well done, looks very realistic. Got some great detailing on his belt as well. He's got his rips in the lower pant leg, and some dirty, nasty boots. Really well detailed shoelaces on there. Overall, a very solid sculpt for Ash. For articulation, we have a ball-jointed head, so we can go up and down, side to side, all that good stuff. Pin socket shoulders, forward and back out to the side. You can bend and rotate at the elbow. Notice here with the chainsaw is a cut joint. You can just swivel that. But over here on the other side, you actually do have a ball joint in the wrist, which is very cool. You have a mid-torso ball joint. You can see it very clearly there on his chest. You have a cut waist swivel with the V crotch joint. Swivel at the upper leg, bend and swivel at the knee, and ball joint at the foot. Now, while the articulation isn't bad, it's this bottom V-cut crotch that's always giving me issues. It breaks up the sculpt really quickly when you turn it. This is kind of right before NECA started giving us those ball-jointed hips with the little diapery crotch, as I like to call it. This figure just came a little too early for them to have implemented that, but that really would have helped this figure a ton. Overall, I think this is a pretty good figure. My biggest ding against it, as always, is the face on it. I really wish they would have given us a brand new sculpted face, but that's my biggest complaint. The rest of it's really well done. The paint is good, the sculpting's good, the chainsaw works better than I thought it would, actually. I really thought that would be something that could be a huge detriment to the longevity of this figure. Between the face and the cut joints on the crotch, it's really my only big gripe with him. And they're fairly minor gripes, especially if you do my switch out with the Army of Darkness head. That works fairly well. Overall, I'm going to recommend this figure. Definitely worth it for any fan of Evil Dead 2. For so many years, pretty much anything produced was from Army of Darkness, and I understand why. Army of Darkness is a lot more fun. It's a very, very funny movie. It doesn't even try to be horror comedy. It's just kind of straight up comedy. But Evil Dead 2, I think, is where it's at in those movies. It's my favorite of the three. And definitely happy to have some cool Ashes from that. Make sure you check out Outside the Box Reviews on Facebook. I actually think this figure is one of the things that set me off on doing most of those pictures up there on Facebook. I think I started off posting pictures of this guy, and that's what kind of got me into getting photos out there for you guys, showing you what I've picked up. So I plan to keep continuing that. Until next time, it's been another Outside the Box Review. I swallow your soul!